Hey there. This is stream number 308, I think. Getting the show on the road. I'm 4.5 minutes late starting because I had to do something very important. You might notice. Hey there, Nui. You may notice there's a new custom channel point, or aka mana, reward in the channel. It costs 5,000 mana. Oh, hold on. Muted? Muted. I am not muted. Should not be muted. It's showing my mic going out. Why do you think I'm muted? Does anyone else think that I'm muted? No, I hear myself. You might be muted. Twitch muted the video. Why would Twitch do such a thing? Anyway, I was explaining that there's a new custom reward now. It costs 5,000 mana. It is Pet the Cat. And I'm 4.5 minutes late, not because I was setting it up, but because the 112 pixel image they required for that, they said was too big. So apparently my cat is too big. So I had to go through I had to run it through a tool that compresses the ping even more. I don't know what it does. Maybe it reduces the color space or something like that. It didn't look any different, but now it's smaller and it fits. So now we're all good to go with all three sizes of image required for a custom emote. I mean, a custom redemption, and the redemption is in there. And now whenever someone redeems that, as long as I see it, which I might need help from chat to see, then I will get up and pet the cat. If the cat's here. Was there a time change? Yes. So the schedule's all wacky now. Basically, new schedule. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So let me actually look at my master schedule. I don't have that handy. Let me look at it. Off screen, of course. Okay, so if we're looking at a typical week, this is my time. So 9, 11, 15, nothing, 9, and 14. So that's PST. And then in terms of UTC, we'll just do the quick math. So that's 9 plus 8 is 17. 11 plus 8 is 19. 15 plus 8 is 23. No stream on Thursday. That's 17. And then again at basically midnight the next day. So my schedule is all crazy. It's this different start date every day, and instead of not streaming on Wednesday, my off day is now Thursday. And this is because I had to fit my schedule around having to drive one of my kids to and from their new school. Their new school has a crazy schedule because it's like one of those flexible schedule schools, and literally these are the only time slots that I have free for at least 3 hours. So Friday is going to be a double stream. 3 hours in the morning for me, and then 4 in the afternoon. Or if you're in Europe, it would be a stream in the evening and then one in the middle of the night. So, sorry, that's just how it goes. I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I try to stream at least 20 hours a week. Actually, I was only doing like 16 or less before, but I'm trying to get back to the 20-hour, like to at least consider myself part-time or half-time doing work, where my work consists of trying to make a game while streaming. And the other half of the time, I'm doing shuttling kids back and forth between school things and doing shopping and other things that you need to do to keep a house going, because my wife works full-time. So, oh, my Fitbit is nice and charged now. By the way, schedule widget said 4 hours left before I started? Really? Because I switched the widget to the Streamlabs one. Let me look. So how would I see that? I'd have to go to my own channel, wouldn't I? Okay, let me do that. Back to... No, I don't want to go back to Twitch. I want to go to my channel. How do I do that? Oh no, restart to install Windows 10 update. We haven't been able to update your device. Leave it plugged in. How about not restart now, but pick a time. Let's restart... I don't know. Midnight tonight? 11 p.m.? I don't want Windows Update to be messing with me now. Sure. 11 p.m. today. I won't be awake. I'll just leave my computer running and all that stuff if I remember to do that. How do I get back to my own stream? I hate this new dashboard. There's no way for me to get back to my own stream easily, so I have to open a new window. I gotta go, I guess, click on my own channel again. Oh, there we go. All right. What does my panel say? It says now live. Oh, I need to mute myself. For me, it says now live, and then for you, it's saying 4 hours until next stream. That's weird. I think I'm gonna have to write my own panel extension for Twitch for my own schedule. And Nui, you and others will help me, I hope, test to make sure that works for you. Oh, it said 4 hours? Weird. So it doesn't say it now? It just says now live? Because for me it says Friday 9 a.m., which was 10 minutes ago. And then again at 2 p.m. I wonder if it's screwing up because there are 2 start times? I don't know. I need to write my own extension for the schedule. Definitely. Because the Streamlabs one and the other one, which had other issues, both aren't meeting my needs. Anyway, there's a new schedule. Let me and these are generally 3 or 4 hour time slots. So below are start times. Stream less 3 to 4 hours. Let me put that in schedule.txt, and then maybe I can show that on stream. And how do I want to do this? I want to annotate this somehow. Like maybe like this. First stream. Second stream. There we go. I'm a perfectionist. This is what I do. I want to make everything perfect. There we go. It says now live there. It says 6 p.m. for Friday. Yeah, wait a minute. It says 6 p.m.? Because for me it would be 2 p.m. and wouldn't that mean for you that it's like midnight? Or 1 a.m.? Weird. Yeah, your time zone, isn't it? It's somewhere in Europe, so it should be like the second one for Friday would be like midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or something. Anyway, that's the actual time. 1700 hours UTC and midnight UTC. 6 p.m. is 1800 hours. Okay, so it depends on your time zone. I don't want to. I'd rather not dox people, so don't say exactly where you are. But it should be whatever time zone you are, UTC plus or minus something. If you were to incorporate that back into UTC, it should be 1700 hours and midnight is today's stream schedule. All right. So starting up the stream. Yes, I am starting up the stream. It's only taking me 8 minutes to do this. All right, today I want to work on item containers in my game. And let's say you're watching this on YouTube and you've never seen this before. Well, there's another link to YouTube. And actually, now that I think about it, I should probably put this link in all my YouTube descriptions too, saying if you've never been here, check out this video first. So that one you see in chat, which actually doesn't show up in the overlay because I turned that off. This is only really going to help people who are watching in Twitch chat. Anyway, there is a YouTube video about 2 minutes long that explains what my stream is about. And working on a multiplayer game online. And let me bring up the test environment because we'll be looking at that today. This is what the game looks like. I'm able to travel through walls and either see through walls or not because I am logged in here as the game master or the admin. But this is a test area in the game, in the test environment, and we are building a game that's inspired by the old Ultima games. And so it's 2D tiles, and you move up, down, left, and right, and you interact with the world either through combat with monsters or dialogues, interaction with NPCs. And since it's multiplayer, you'll be able to group up with other players and to take on more difficult challenges. So let me get another window going. Whoops, I don't want to do a Bing search on semicolon. It's weird that it ended up showing me some random stock. I had to change my local password because I added a new feature last night, which is kind of cool. Maybe I should demonstrate that. But first, so today what I'm going to do. Yesterday I added equipment slots, so now we can actually equip our sword. Although it's got a few bugs, it thinks we lost the sword because it's not tracking the equipment slots in the part of the code which detects if we gain or lose items. So if I put it back in our general inventory, it says, oh, you obtained it again. We'll be fixing that sometime. But I added equipment slots, and today I wanted to add containers. So imagine that you're in the game and you walk over and there's a chest on the ground, treasure chest. You might want to be able to open it, and then when you interact with it, we would show the contents of the chest maybe up here, maybe down here. I haven't figured it out yet. Actually, you know what I'm thinking of doing is swapping these two. Putting the equipment on the left and the general inventory on the right, and then above the general inventory putting any container we're interacting with. So that if you're dragging to and from a container, it's just simply up and down. I try to do at least 3 hours, Nui. So this stream will be 3 hours long and then a 4-hour stream later. And there's a break because I have to go pick up someone from school. So it's a total of 7 hours today. All right. Anyway, if anyone has any questions, let me know. Let's see. What do I want to do first? I actually do kind of feel like I should swap these. So maybe that's what I'll do first. That shouldn't be too hard. So current task. Swapping inventory and equipment slots. Do you prefer the inventory stay as it is because it's near the game and more in the field? Then where would I put the, if I'm interacting with a treasure chest, where would I put the treasure chest inventory? Like below the general inventory? Because I'm thinking we'll probably want a lot more slots. Actually, maybe not a whole lot more. Maybe it's fine to just use this area for the container inventory or container slots. Okay, you've convinced me. I'm not going to swap the inventory slots. Let me think on what I want to do instead. I want to do some refactoring first. I said that had that on the plan. Refactor item handling code because it's a mess right now. I think I also want to get prepared to have the item handling code work with containers. And right now, the only bit of information is an identity. So it's either a number or a string. If it's a number, it's an index in this list of slots. And if it's a string, it's an identifier of one of these special equipment slots. But it might be easier if I introduce a second bit of information, maybe the category or kind of slot, and then this would be inventory and this would be equipment, and then there'd be a third one called container, and that would be whatever container the player's interacting with. You just got the Windows Update available too? Yeah. So they must have just gone live, which is weird because I thought Microsoft pushes stuff out on Tuesdays, not Fridays. Weird. Okay, if I want to refactor the item handling code, and I want to get set for having a container, then yeah, I think I want to have the a slot identified by two things: maybe a group ID and a slot ID. Yeah. Let me think about this. Yeah, that's probably gonna work. So, refactoring. What happened to the bottom of my window there? Refactoring item handling code in preparation for introducing containers. Is that gonna fit on my window? It looks okay. All right. Says your device will be restarted outside of your using hours. Uh-oh, does that mean you could be rebooted any time now? Oh no, oh no. Mine just said, hey, you want to restart now? I'm like, no. item handling code would, I actually don't remember where it is. So I'm going to look for move inventory item. I think that's what I want to search for. Never had that problem? Well, welcome to Windows. We give you a new problem every year. Let's see, is it here? Okay, so it was in the coordinator's ECS subsystem. And most of it's in this move inventory item make command. Right, so we have a section for if we're moving to an equipment slot, and then another one if we're moving from an equipment slot, and then a third one for if we're just going between two inventory places. So I think I need to somehow combine this else if, and this else into one thing that can operate off of any kind of container. Not doing anything critical at the moment, so you won't mind if you need to start. You still have a laptop to switch to. I always get very nervous about Windows Update because a couple times in the past it's bricked my computer. Like, it becomes unbootable. And I'm like, guess I got to reinstall the operating system and all my programs and hope that I can get everything set up back the way it was. Because it's a lot of stuff is held in the Windows registry, and that gets completely toasted when you reinstall everything. Or when you reinstall the operating system. Do I want to combine this first? Probably. I think what I want to do is we're going to be passing the item group, but not yet. Right now, whether we know what group it's in based off of if it's a string or not. So let's add a little bit of code here. This is refactoring, so I don't have to change any tests right now. We'll have a, I guess we'll make it a string. A string or an enumerated type. Actually, if it's a container, the container will be an entity, and so we'll need to have the entity ID somewhere. So we might need 3 pieces of information. What it is, and one possible thing it could be is a container. What is it? Inventory, equipment, or container? And 2 is, so if it's an entity, what is the ID? E.g., containers entity. 3, and then which slot is it? Or which index? E.g., inventory or container slot index. So if it's an equipment, I mean, I suppose in the future we might have multiple slots for certain kinds of equipment. So like you might have 2 ring slots. So maybe it makes sense that everything has an index, and most equipment class kinds of categories would have just 1 slot in it. All right. So that means, maybe that means I should make everything an array. So that the 3 would be the index into the array. And then the combination of these 2 tells us where to find the array. So if it's inventory, then it's in the player's inventory. If it's equipment, then we use this ID to find out which kind of equipment slot it is. And if it's container, then it's the entity. So then it's not just if it's an entity, it's so this is what kind is it? And this is which one is it? And which index? So containers at entity or equipment type. Equipment's type, containers entity. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go with, I think. So that means I need 3 things. So I might as well just make 2 item and from item into an object. Right now that's not. So we'll have some temporary code here to do it. So that means what I want is a let's rename this to 2-item. Actually, let's leave that and we'll make this into slot. 2-item slot is JSON object, right? Which is initially empty, and we'll say if it's a string, else. If it's a string, then 2-item slot kind, I guess, equals equipment. Otherwise, whoops. Otherwise, it's inventory. And then from that, I can tell the other piece of information, index. Or let's just go, index is fine. Index is fine. So the index would always be 0 for that, but here it's 2-item. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, converted into an integer. Well, that already is an integer, so that's fine, right? And then, what's the name for which one is it? This one doesn't need it, but this one does. 2-item slot. Which one? Which one? I guess which is 2-item. Okay, so let's repeat that. For from item. So this is temporary adapter code. This will go away. Let me mark it so. To do. This is a temporary adapter to use while migrating the code from a single slot ID to a structure. So the structure, these are the structures. And so this makes room for a container would be kind container, which would be the entity ID of the container, and index would be which slot in that container. All right, and then let me try to redo this if else to work, just have one set of code that works with these slots instead of the original items. All right. It's a little tricky though, because we have this concept of which slots we have. I wonder if first, before I do anything else, I should put these slots within another object into the player's component, player's character component, or the player character's player component, actually. So let me describe what that looks like. So this is the player component, and it'd be better if I just took that contents and put it directly into this. It is a JSON. Please format it. So the items right now is an array. The equipment though is kind of mixed in, so there's belt, feet, head. What I'm thinking about doing instead is have equipment, and then make that another nested object, and inside of that put belt, feet, head, neck, offhand, and where's main hand? Did I accidentally delete it? Or does my character not have a main hand anymore? Ooh, it's completely missing. Okay, but it should have main hand. I wonder if it's because it was set to null. Right, and the delta thing removes the key if it's null. Okay, that's interesting. That's actually a bug. It's not a terrible bug though. If it's not in there, it'll then resolve to be invalid instead of null. I think I treat invalid and null as the same. Okay, so if I do that, then equipment's keys have all these already encoded. Am I missing some? I'm missing torso. Oh, there it was, and ring. There we go. There's 8 of them, right? So yeah, if they're already the keys of equipment, then I wouldn't have to hard code this set everywhere. I could just enumerate the keys of the player's equipment to see if they have a slot that matches. And then I think I would want to do a little bit more than this, right? I'd probably want to do this kind of a thing. So that in the future, if you had 2 ring slots, you could do that. So it's a little bit more forwards compatible that way. I think that's what I'm gonna do. The only problem is when you modify the character's player component, you can either modify the entire thing or you can modify one key. So if we're changing like what you have in your main hand, for example, you'd have to change the entire equipment set. The alternative would be that I add another kind of action in the ECS where you can change something that's nested inside, so just this out of the equipment. So we would have to know equipment, and then we'd have to know main hand, so 2 strings. Or maybe 1 string with some delimiter between it, like a dot or a comma or something. Actually, I guess I could build that into the delta stuff. Yeah, let's do that. So, where do I have that tested? Guess I can search for it. It's going to be in the executor tests. The executor tests. There we go. Let's look for the word delta. Delta's everywhere, isn't it? Okay, modify equipment delta not inventory. Why do I have delta not inventory? Oh, what's that? Toulouse, 7 months? Oh my goodness, that's more than half a year. Raimu party. Yay. So Toulouse, you probably just got here, right? Thank you for the support, by the way. There is now a new custom redemption that you can, the channel points aka mana, for 5,000 of them you can get me to stand up and go pet the cat, if the cat is on the cat tower. You saw that, huh? No one's redeemed it yet. Actually, I might need help seeing if someone redeems it, because it doesn't show up in Yada. But yes, hello. Oh, I forgot to start my channel timer, also. I'm forgetting things today, chat. Okay. Welcome to Lose. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you again for the subscription. Use custom rewards and force them to type something with it. Yeah, that's true. But like, what would I want people to chat when they say pet the cat? Can you manually give people points? The channel points? No. I suppose I could allow people to redeem my bots points for stuff like that, but I haven't done it yet. Hey there, Raz. And Manir, how are you doing? Good morning, evening, middle of the night, and C17R. How are you doing today? Welcome, program. 300 or more, you can redeem Pet the Cat. Ooh, getting close there, huh? Should I make it less than 5,000 points? I figured 5,000 points was appropriate because it'll interrupt me. It'll force me to get up and walk a few feet and pet the cat. Make it 1 point, then I'll never get any work done. People will be like, pet the cat. Do it again, streamer. Jump up and down. Dance for me, streamer. Okay. I think I made this test not change the inventory because changing the inventory would have resulted in more things that the executor would return, right? Oh, that's why. Why do I have such a test, though? Oh, we have something else redeemed. Walk a few feet and pet the cat. It's hard to say cat as Yoda. Maybe I have to loosen my throat a little bit. Yes, yes. Walk a few feet. Pet the cat you will. But you just redeemed that say something as Yoda, so now you don't have the points to pet the cat. Here, I will demonstrate what happens if someone were to redeem it. I would do this and then get up and pet the cat. Thing is, he might get kind of annoyed if I pet him too much. Oh, someone's redeemed. Pet the cat. Toulouse is making me pet the cat. Okay, here goes. Oh, hide the camera. There we go. We pet the cat. Redeemed. All right. So you don't have to do it for free? Oh, thank you very much, Toulouse. All right. I figure it's kind of a cool thing you guys can make me do. Also, it's good to stand up and stretch. I don't do that enough, so this will force me to get up. So it can't be a bad thing. And the cat probably likes it, although he might get annoyed if I do it too much. I'll know that he's annoyed if he jumps down, and then we won't be able to redeem those until he comes back. All right. Project Automate pet the cat with a machine. He'd hate that. He'd be like, what the heck is this thing, and why is it touching me? Get it away, written in C. No, I think we'd have to do it in assembly. Or, no, it would have to be Rust, right? You said assembly, yeah. Assembly, Rust, something exotic. Delta. Oh, okay. So yeah, I want to test like this. While I'm here, let me add underscores here because I've been doing that for tests that I am looking at. Because I think it makes it more readable. Actually, maybe I just end up updating this test, right? Yeah, let's update this test. Write it in JavaScript with a custom JavaScript interpreter written in C++. Ooh, that sounds fun. Give the previous state is that, and the next state is that, given this delta. Let's try it with an object. So, ABC has a JSON object. And that has a def, which is 7, and GHI, which is hello. And let's make the delta have a abc.def, which is 8. I think this is what I want to do, where if the key in the delta table has a dot in it, then we're navigating down an object to find another key. And so the next state would be still has this ABC table in it, but the DEF is now 8. Let's make it a little bit more complicated, because, I don't know. So let's have an XYZ, that's 1. And let's have this also say abc.ghi is null pointer to get rid of the GHI. So we're keeping the XYZ around. So a key that stays the same, a key that's changed, and a key that's removed. All in the same test. There we go. Write a test that slaps the cat and fixes so that it doesn't slap the cat. Aw! We don't want to slap the poor kitty! Hey there, iGrok. iGrok. Come on. Come on, iGrok. We gotta be nice to the cat. If I'm not nice, then one of these days he's just gonna launch himself in that tower, you know, claws extended, and he's gonna rake the side of my face. You'll see it, chat, and then you'll remember that's what happens when you mess with the cat too much. All right. Linking. Come on, link. 30-second link time? I really need to get an SSD. This adds up. Come on, time is money, linker. Yeah, don't mess with the beasts. We got a cat door installed now, so he can come and go as he wishes in and out of the backyard. The dog could fit through it, but he's scared, or she's scared of it. So, actually, that prompted my wife to buy another cat/dog door that we haven't installed yet. But anyway, how much more time do I need to kill? Why is this taking so long? Everything is taking long today. I was sitting at a light, left turn light, and I was 6 cars back. The light turned green, and then immediately turned yellow, and 2 cars made it through. And I'm like, oh, I see how this is going. So then there were, it was 3 cars in front of me, and I'm like, no, it was 2 cars in front of me. I'm like, oh, it's definitely going to be yellow, but maybe I'll make it through. And every cycle of the light was like, it seemed like an eternity. Kind of like this linker, how it's taking an eternity. Like maybe 2 minutes. And it's like, I've been sitting at this light for 6 minutes now, and I'm on the 3rd cycle of the light. I hope I get it through this time. Oh, I can do stuff while I'm waiting for the stupid linker. I can cancel this. Oh, I should think about migrating the data, right? So migrating the equipment slots to be in this kind of an arrangement. They started rewriting one of your old Java and PHP apps. You'd rather commit... Oh, don't do that. we don't want to talk about that. That sucks. But you can look on the bright side. You'll refresh your knowledge and get better at Java and PHP. That's not a bad thing. And you're probably getting paid for it too. Just think about that. 30 jobs, right? I'm being rated by Nuffly. Hey, Nuffly. How's Epic? How's Epic doing? I hope I'm not getting my streams confused. Nuffly, you're the one who was working on the kernel called Epic, right? I apologize if I have that wrong. Hello, by the way. Hi. Welcome, Nuffly and Raid. Right. So Nuffly was working on memory allocation functions. One of the many things you'd have to have in a kernel or in any kind of environment where you want to have dynamic memory allocation, and it was kind of fun to watch that. Yeah, Epic is going very epically. Nice. So, Nui linked where you can find my game. There's also a brief minute and 50-second YouTube video that explains what my channel is about. But I'm working on this game. This is what it looks like from the administrator point of view. If you were in a normal player, it would kind of look like this. Although I get to be a tiger because I'm the GM. Ha! Actually, I have another window open to the game here. So this is what an ordinary player's view would look like. This game is inspired by Ultima 4, Ultima 5, so games back from the 90s, very retro. It's 2D tiles. You move up, down, left, and right. You have equipment. We just recently added these equipment slots so I can put the sword in the guy's main hand or take it back out. There's some bugs right now. When you move your sword into your equipment slot, it thinks you lost your sword. And when you put it back into your inventory, you see you obtained it again. That's because the code that's scanning for if you lose or gain items is only looking at the main inventory slots and not the equipment slots. It just added that like on Wednesday. So today I'm working on refactoring the code that I had to change to introduce these equipment slots, and then I'm going to, once that's done, I'm going to try to introduce containers. So I'll put a chest somewhere in this test world, and I'll put stuff in it. And the objective would be to open the chest and look into it and have it show the chest's contents below my usual inventory and be able to drag items in and out of it. That's the whole point of today. Almost finished with memory allocation. Seems to work so far, but we'll battle test it when you actually start using it. Cool. Yeah, I like the fact that you had tests helping you drive the development and make sure that everything was good. So I like to do test-driven development. I'm not very good at it at all, but I do recommend doing that. So while you're developing code, having tests really helps to both document what you wanted to do and then verify it's done correctly. And then if bugs come back in later, they help you catch it. So I was glad to see that you had tests built in, or you were using tests to help prove out that memory allocator you're working on. That was cool. So yeah, and if you got any questions about what I'm doing, let me know. So the The game itself, this is a test build of it, but there is one in production on that link that my bot sent out a little bit ago. It's all a work in progress because I'm using a custom game engine. So I'm working on that today too. So I'm introducing containers. It's a new kind of thing in the game, so I got to go into the game engine and add it there. The engine's mostly in C++, but it's got some Lua in there. We have a Lua interpreter embedded in there to allow me to play around with some of the game systems without rebuilding the server. And then you play the game through the web browser. So there's a JavaScript front end. We use Phaser for the graphics. We use React for the rest of the DOM, and Redux for state management. So a lot of moving pieces. I also use Python for a little bit of the automation, like to synchronize the game scripts with my workspace. So that's 4 different programming languages you might see me use from day to day. Thought I was talking to you, but you weren't really there. Oh, that's okay. No worries, Nuffly. I was just saying that it was cool to see you using tests when you were developing, because it reminded me, oh yeah, test-driven development, something I keep wanting to stick to. It's hard though. Well, you had unit tests going, but they were just kind of built in, and every developer is lazy. That's because we always try to get away with doing the minimum to make the computer work, right? And computers are greedy things. They want to be told everything. So naturally, we end up being lazy because we get so tired of telling the computer to do everything. We're like, computer, can't you just figure it out? Anyway, I'm kind of half joking, but not actually using actual unit tests. You mean like the officially sanctioned and blessed by the community? I think any kind of test is fine. It doesn't have to be like official or actual. In the end, is what matters is does it help you either develop it or prove it or fix it or avoid bugs. If you catch bugs early, fix them before they cause design issues, then they serve their purpose. It doesn't matter if they're actual unit tests or just tests of any kind of form, right? All right, so I had built that and I was going to test it right here. This is the test I updated. This is going to be important because I want to rearrange the player character's player component to store equipment like this. So equipment is now an object, and then each kind of slot will be another array inside of that object. And so the game command called modify component, where we're given a component delta, before only worked at one level of key. So if you wanted to change what you had equipped on your feet, for example, you'd have to change your entire equipment outfit rather than just line 5 here. So I'm trying to change that by introducing this concept of if the key has a dot in it, we're going to navigate multiple levels. So if it's abc.def, then we're just changing that line, and we're not going to touch this GHI thing. Actually, no, it's the XYZ we're not changing. It's going to be in the next state and the previous state. We're testing changing DEF to 8 and removing GHI. So changing this one, removing that one. So this is the previous state, and that's the next state. That's what we expect. And the test is going to fail because I haven't changed the code. Been having trouble lately with Test Explorer. Every time I rebuild, it forgets that this is a test, and then I have to hit that button, and then it remembers, oh, yeah, that's a test. You can run it. So I'm using a couple plugins for this in VS Studio, VS Code. Test Explorer is this panel over here that has some convenient buttons, and it basically figures out where what tests you have, and then lets you run or debug any of them, or go to where they are. So I click that, now I'm at that test. I click there, I'm back here. It also adds this, the same kinds of things right above the test. So you need 2 extensions for that in general. You need Test Explorer UI is the main one, and then depending on what framework you use for testing, you need something that works with Test Explorer UI. So I use this one because it includes Google Test, and it finds and hooks things into the Test Explorer. So the combination of those two gives, let's get rid of this, gives you this extra line here and lets you see things in the panel here. So we expect this, and we got that. One problem with the way I have it printed out, it's hard to see what's different here, because one of them is broken up into multiple lines, the other one is not. But the difference is this ABC key, right? We expected DF to be 8, XYZ to be 1, and that's it. But instead, DF didn't change, and GHI is still there, right? And then this was actually added. Okay, so that's the old behavior. The new behavior, I want dot to mean something special. I want it to mean we're navigating down a secondary level there. Yeah, anything that works for your purposes, Nuffly. That's what the tests are. The test goal is to serve you as a developer any way you see fit. Let's see. I need to. Why am I sitting here? This is not the right file. That's why I'm confused. I need to go to executor.cpp where we do the on modify. Yeah, this one. Oh, this is the side effect stuff. Okay, here's if we're replacing the whole component, and here's if we're replacing part of a component. Right, so we get the object containing the things we want to change, and then we go through its keys, and we get the value. And if it's null, we remove the key. If it's not null, we set the value of changing what's there. So here's where I need to change it, right? Because if the entry is the key, if that has a dot in it, I want to descend. So I think what I'll do is just have a loop here that descends. So while let's make a, we're gonna have a variable that's changing, right? Actually, then I might as well just use delta entry. Can I change it in place? I think I can. If I just use auto and remove the reference, then we can say while oh shoot. I want to find the delimiter and repeat while we can find the delimiter. Can I do this in one step? I think I can. I think I can do it. I'll look in dev docs though. C++. How come that didn't work? Why is this not enabled? What happened here? That was funny. C++. It's not enabled? Did it forget what I had enabled? Oh, I'm in my I'm in the wrong window. I'm in the incognito window. The one that remembers my state is this one. There we go. So this would be string. Basic string would be nice. Actually, I want basics. I want find in basic string, don't I? Yeah, this one. What does it return? Oh, right. Okay, so I can say I can have a variable. So what's the type of that? Size type. So that's going to be size t. Delimiter. We can say while delimiter equals delta entry dot find a dot, right? While that is not equal to standard string no position, then we're descending, right? Hey, the red sky one. How are you doing? So I think here, this component we're going to need to descend into as well, right? So let's, as much as I hate doing it, I'm thinking about using a pointer. What's this previous? Oh, that just captures what it had before. Got it. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to want auto pointer. What to name it, though? I don't know, component part? It will start at address of component. And we're going to use that here and here. This is where I don't really like the fact I'm using a pointer. It's just that we're going to have to descend, and actually, if I used a function to do this part, it would be cleaner. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I like this. We'll make it cleaner with a function. a function to do this part, I think. I'm just thinking in my head, how am I going to do this? It's going to be component. So auto auto component part equals I guess descend. We can make this generic, right? Descend tree, I guess we'd call it. And its component is the root, and then the key was delta entry. And then we'll just replace component with component part. And delta entry will be mutable because it'll end up being the last part of the path. And then this is what I want to move. I need to grab the value out first, though, before I do that. Then do that. Yes, and this is descend tree. So that can be just a generic function up here. It's going to return a JSON object, a JSON value reference, right? Descend tree, const JSON value root, and then this is going to be mutated, standard string path, and has this code in it, right? Okay, so it's not delta entry, it's path now. And then we will have to start with a pointer, won't we? So JSON value, well, I can say auto here because I'm lazy. Auto entry, I guess for lack of a better thing, starts at the root. Okay, and then if we find a delimiter, then we'll extract the key part. Is the path substring from 0 to the delimiter. And then the path now gets replaced with path substring delimiter plus 1, right? And then now entry is entry key. And I repeat the address of. And that has to be dereferenced and to look up at the key. This is a little bit of pointer ugliness. I'm hiding the pointer ugliness in here. Can I? Actually, can I just call this recursively to do this? Then I can get rid of the while and the pointer stuff. Ooh, maybe I can do that. That might be clever and not too bad. I don't need a root then, and I don't need a while. This would just, oh, this is so much cleaner. I would just say const auto delimiter equals that. If delimiter equals no position, then just return root. And this can't be const because we're returning that. All right, return root. Otherwise, we're splitting, right, we're splitting the path between the key and the remainder of the path. And I actually don't have to do that assignment. I can just do return descend tree root key, comma, and then that path substring, right? Like that. I like that. It's recursive. What can go wrong, right? And then in the, oh, wait a minute. I do need to mutate the path, don't I? Okay, we can mutate the path. Path equals, because that's an output also. Unless I make the return value 2 different things, which is kind of complicated to do. I'd have to make a pair or something like that. Let's not. Let's just keep it somewhat simple and have a side effect. All right. So where that's called, that's the part. the delta entry has been modified. So it's just the leaf node. Okay, I think that should work. Let's see if it works with my test. If it fails, then we get to debug it and find out why. Run the test. It failed. Def became null instead of 8. So does that mean the value got lost? Let's see what's going on. Break their run. So delta entry is ABC def. How come it... Oh, it hit that first because it's alphabetical. Okay, let's see what happens. Delta value is an integer whose value is 8. And it's going to descend tree. So we find a delimiter at offset 3. So the key is ABC. The remainder of the path is DEF, and then we go into descend tree again. And the delimiter here should be no position. So we just return that root. What was the root again? Right, it's the object that has the DEF key in it. So path should just be DEF now. Okay, cool. So we return back out. The component part should point to the ABC part, which has DEF in it. Delta value is still the integer, so it assigns it. So if I look at the original component now, it still has ABC bar and baz, and then ABC will have in it DEF, and the DEF will have 8 in it, right? Oh, it's null. Wait a minute. How did that get to be null? How did that get to be null? Oh, wait. I didn't use the delta value there. Hey there, Resubaka. Thank you for that follow, by the way. Yeah, this should be delta value. That's why I got a reference to it in the first place. There we go. That's my bug, I think. Back to the test. Run the test. It'll pass, right? Yes. Okay. Let's run all of the executor tests to make sure I didn't damage anything. Run them all. And assuming that passes, I'm going to check this in as an incremental work in progress step towards what I want to be doing. They all passed, right? Yeah, they all passed. I'm not checking that in. I'm checking this in. Oh, I should give that a nice comment, right? Descend. Okay, let's give this a nice comment. Hey there, Jackamus. Okay, so this is doing a couple things, right? Return a reference to the JSON object containing the key at the given path. The path consists of JSON object keys separated by dots. You have no idea how it works? Okay. Sure, we can take a look at your code. See why it works and what you're trying to fix. 5 hours though, wow. And let me give you a wave. I'm not sure how to say your name. Jessen? Or Gessen? I was never sure how to pronounce that G. So thank you for the follow, Jessen. Yeah, if you have a link to like a code sandbox or something or a gist. All right. Yeah, we could take a look at it. Return a reference to the JSON object containing the key at the given path. The path consists of JSON objects. Okay. As a side effect, change the modify the given path argument to be just the key of the innermost level. Actually, let's not say that. That's just too confusing. Remember those days where you're working for four or 5 hours trying to fix something and you manage to get it to work and you have no idea how? Yeah. I prefer these days to know at the root level how things work, because when they don't, then it's like a beast I don't understand. Oh, bee paste. Here we go. So we're doing a little a side excursion, right? So I'm going to change this to be helping take a look at some code worked on by Justin TV. All right, so let's look at it. Okay. Hold on, let me pull this off screen for a second. Just let me do a brief scan. This looks pretty complicated. Receives the value from a chosen base and converts it. Displays the value in all other bases. Oh, I get it. Okay. So those are your bases. All your base are belong to us. That kind of thing. Select your input format. You scan it in. Looks good so far while it's not 0. Allocate memory for both strings. It's interesting. What language? This must be C then, right? Not C++? Yeah, because when you start doing malloc, it tells me it's probably C. Yeah, okay. N times size of character. Alright. I usually just assume that that's 1, because I still have yet to find the machine where size of character is not 1. But anyway, I get distracted by little stupid points. Sorry about that. And I usually don't do that anymore because I think it's pointless. If you're going to run out of memory, it's just going to crash anyway. So this is an explicit crash. I mean, yeah, this never happens in modern computers. This would probably only ever happen if you did this on an embedded target, and then, yeah. Anyway. I just get tripped up on stupid little things. You can just ignore that part of my feedback. Okay, let's see. The problem is you have no idea how it works, right? So you've scanned in the base, you've allocated some memory, and then you're going in and saying, please enter the value. And then you're calling some function. I guess we'll find that function later. And you're saying, this is basically the output, right? Oh no, this is converting the string to an integer. This is doing string to integer. Okay, got it. And then you're going through all the bases, calling some other function, and then printing out this buffer in which you're storing the value in the different base, right? And then you have a repetition of this part, which I guess is okay. There's a couple different ways to do that. I don't like to repeat such long things, because if you decide to change and like to add base 4 in there, you'd have to add it in 2 places, but it doesn't matter. Professor would kill you if it'd take it off. Okay, so it's to appease the professor. I understand that completely. The int to base is what you don't understand. You had 2 lines in the end that destroyed your brain. Okay, let's find int to base. I mean, you mean this reverse string thing? Okay. What's this doing? Why is it just making the string empty if the value is 0? I don't understand that. Anyway, it's making a oh, I see. It's doing a recursive call. Yes. I get what's going on. Yep, then I know what this is for. Why are there 2 calls to it though? Mandatory. So the way this is working is, this is the function, you're calling it recursively when the function calls itself. And the trick is to understand that what you're doing between the two, which is you're dividing the value by the base and advancing 1 character. So it's basically it's dividing things by the base until it gets to 0, and then says, okay, that's the end of the string. And then on the way back up, it's filling in the digits from right to left. I don't know why you'd reverse the string like that, though. That I don't get yet. This part is just saying if it's bigger than 9, then it's an A through F, right? Otherwise, convert it. Yeah, we're converting the number to a digit there. Okay, so why the reverse string? Receives the address of a buffer and its length. The string displayed from end to start. So it's just reversing it. Then what's the third argument? Right. If it uses recursion to flip the last digit and the first digit in advance from both sides of the string at each time. Okay, so it's going, like, if it was 0 to 10, it'd be 1 to 9, then 2 to 8, and 3 to 7, 4 to 6, 5 to 5, and then it would return. So we're back to 4 and 6. And it's swapping the 2. Yeah, so it's just it's doing an in-place swap. Why would you do it twice with 2 different lengths, though? So that kind of thing I usually make an example for. So if we understand how reverse string works, let's say we have the string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? What's reverse string of that? It's going to find the midpoint, and start swapping. So it would be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you did the length, what's len user? Ooh, okay, so everything is recursion. It's recursion hell. I'm presuming it gives us the address not counting the null? Yeah, so this would be 6. So if you did 5, so the first one was to do it with 5. So it's not that. It's reverse. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, right? And then if you're doing it again with -2, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 6. I don't understand why that's done. It doesn't reverse. There's a difference there, right? There's where'd that window go? There's a -1 and then a -2. It's from 0 to -1, -2. So again, if the length was 6, it's only reversing 0 and... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. 0 and 5. 0 and 5, 1 and 4, 2 and 3. Okay, so I did get it wrong. 0, 1. So it would swap these two. So it would do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But then -2 would be swapping those around. So that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Why are we doing that? We're taking the top digit and putting it at the end. Why are we doing that? I don't know. I have no idea how this works. Should run it? Sure, we can do that. Do I have to sign up? I just want to do it. New REPL. C. Create. All right. We'll do the REPL for it. Can I get the raw to this? Raw, please. REPL it. Go. Let's do hexadecimal. How come I can't type? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, please. Hold on, is that right? Oh, wait. I guess I misunderstood the problem. So it's the input is in hex. Okay, there's something I didn't understand then. Let's go back. The what is base to int? Oh, it's interpreting it. Oh, okay, I got it. Hey there, Atomic Nibble. All three switch to programmer mode. Decimal, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, what happens? Can I tell it to stop? What happens if I just comment out that mysterious, the mysterious 2 reverses? Stop. Run, please. Well, that's weird. I didn't expect that. So you have to reverse it? I didn't think I'd okay. Look at that. Let's look at that again. Base to int. Oh, there's a base to int and then there's an int to base. Got it. It's a bit confusing. I'm guessing because this actually reverses it. So let me see. It's taking, what's power? Okay, it does print out what the value was. So it doesn't reverse it. But then, okay. The int to base reverses it somehow. I didn't see that. It's gonna okay. I had the understanding of this backwards. Dividing by 10 is gonna give you the most significant digit, not the least. So it is gonna put it in reverse order. But then why do we have to do this twice? Can I just do that once? Stop and run again. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, oh, it's scrambled. Hold on. Oh, wait. I think I might know. I think I might know why. So if it's the length of that is 6, and then you do 0 to 5, 1 to 4, 2 to 3, it'll swap it like that. Actually, then what? Why is it? It's first because the 2 reverses are equivalent to a rotate left. Why do we need to rotate left, though? That's the part I don't get. Yeah, they have the thing is that they have to use recursion. The thing I'm not quite understanding is why the rotate left. Is it because of how that works? It'll end up. Let me think about this. If it's 0, they put on. This part tripped me up at the beginning. I'm like, why are we stopping when it gets to 0? Then we're dividing by 10 and advancing 1 character to the right. Okay, let me just work this out more cleanly. So divide by 10 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. So this is accompanied by an offset of 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finally it's 0 and 6. So it's going to put a null at offset 6. Correct. And then it's going to go back and do, it's going to put a 1 at offset 5, right? I'm missing something. If I don't reverse it. Okay, so it's reverse string that I'm not understanding. Or is the reverse string not working correctly? One, two, three. Yeah, okay, reverse string is not working the way I thought it did. Okay, so if it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the arguments are 0 and 5. So then it's 1 and 4 and you're killing me, editor. 1, 2. Actually, we're not going to get that far. It's going to stop there, right? It's just going to return when we get to this one, because that'll be 3 and 2. Return. So back out. This is swapping the left and the right. So we get 6, 5, 6, 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. And this is going to swap 1 and 4. 6, 6, 1, 3, 4, 5, 1. No, hold on. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, right? And that gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So why is it getting me 5, 3, 1, 2, 4, 6? Add a meaning Raimu. Okay, let me watch that later. This one's really killing me. Hold on. Where was I working here? Just reverse it. And we're immediately printing it out, right? Yeah, put string buffer. Okay, then why is this not reversing it if you do it once? Did I not update that link? I might not have updated that link. I don't know, let's see. What does it do for odd? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How did it get the 1 in that position? That's what I don't get. Yeah, I don't understand it. It won't yeah, I understand it won't move the middle one, so how did the 1 get in the middle? There's something I'm just missing here. Am I wrong about the math? That'll be 6 minus 1 is 5, right? 0 and 5. 1 and 4. 2 and 3. 3 and 2. It's greater than, so return. And then we're back to 2 and 3. It should swap 2 and 3. So yeah, I don't get it. This is something like I'd want to run. Does this thing support debuggers? Yeah, why is the one in the middle? I don't understand that. Yeah. Don't get that at all. If we don't reverse it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 1 is always on the right side. So how does it get to the middle? Okay, what if I just do that one? Maybe len user is including the null, and I just haven't been accounting for that. Let's say it's an empty string. It'll be 0. What if it's a character 1 length string? It'd be 1 plus 0, right? So it should be, that should be 6, and that should be 5. And so, then I don't get it. That should be 5, so it should be swapping 1 and 0 and 5. I mean 0 and 4, right? I don't get it. I mean, I can see what it's actually doing. Sort of. It's not actually reversing it. It's like mixing them. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's starting from the center and going out left and right. And if you do that twice with one offset, you end up getting the reverse. But so this isn't really reversing the string. It's doing something else. The algorithm uses the recursion to flip the last digit and the first digit and advance from both sides of the string each time. Don't worry. So there's something I'm missing here that she did. So her reverse isn't reversing, but why? But it looks like it should. I'm just not getting it. Left plus 1, right minus 1. Temp equals what's on the right. What's on the right is what's on the left. Left is the temp. Okay. Okay. This is bugging me. So I'm going to take that and make a new project at the top level here. We'll just hack it in here. Just stealing a little bit of stuff here. Add executable, right? Add executable. Reverse.cpp or .c. Okay, and then new file. Reverse.c. Whoa, what happened? Okay, I just want this. This mystical code that we don't quite understand. And then int main, okay. Include standard io.h, int main, int argc char argv And then char buff 6. I'll just hard code the thing because I don't really. I don't know why I did it that way, but got to be a 7 now. Okay, and then reverse string buff 0 6 puts buff. We puts the buff. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna want a debug configuration. Doesn't matter what I do here, right? Just put it at the end. Reverse exe. Fine. Done. Reverse, put a breakpoint there, and go. All right, so buffer is that. And then I go once. Oh, let's try that. Let's see that in action in the debugger here. 1 5, right? 2 4 3 3. So where you return. Should probably extend this. Oh, what if I do that and we can read the whole thing? Wait a second. I need to see that again. Go. Oh, it's off by 1. Ah, why didn't I see that? So if like I did this with 5 digits. Oh, shoot. Why did it get me there? Okay, run it again. 0 1. Oh, so I did this. I was wrong in my math here. Oh, I didn't do -1, did I? Length -1. Back. So it should be 5 there. That's what I did wrong. Pass the index, not the length. Yeah, those are the indices, yeah. So run again. Yeah, so that should swap. It's 1 2 4 3, right? Yeah, that reversed it. Wait. Let's just pull that in now. And then let's pull in len buff. Len user. So now go. Okay. Seems weird it's casting a char to an int. It doesn't matter. Int and char are convertible. Well, then why am I getting a different result than what REPL shows? Run again, right? Unless the int to base is not working the way I think it does. If we don't reverse it, what does it show? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I think I want to bring the whole dang program in there to debug it. We'll figure this out. It'll only take a little bit more. Can't write it because we were doing okay. So all the breakpoints are invalid. But I want to see int base right here. Put a breakpoint there. Go. Actually, I have to type in now. 10. 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I see what it actually has in there? Wait, what? Oh, shoot. I don't know. I actually don't understand what's going on then. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Okay. I know what my misunderstanding was. I kept assuming that that's done after the recursion is done, but no, this is done during the building of the okay. Ah. I see what's going on. So, yeah. All right. It makes let's redo this from the big from int basis point of view, right? So it's complicated because it's recursion inside of recursion. At if the integer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, let's say. Then we're finding where the null should go first. So if we have these cells, how am I going to do this? I'll just place cells for these different characters, right? So the indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So the innermost recursion, we're putting in the null here, right? And we're returning. Then one level out, we're putting the 1 there, right? Then we're reversing from 0 to, we're reversing this, right? So we're putting, fighting with my editor. We're putting the 1 there, and we don't know what's there, right? Yeah, I'm just trying to understand how it's written. I know it could be written better. So yeah, at that point, it's going to put the 1 there, and then reverse. Oh, but it does the length at that point. Actually, what does it fill before there's stuff in there? It's just garbage, right? It mallocked it. I mean, right now, it's got a bunch of junk in it. How do I see that? Yeah, there's just a bunch of junk characters in there. They put one all the way at the end. Why did it do that? Oh, it's doing the binary first, that's why. Okay, so yeah. We can skip out until it does octal. How do I do that? Go back to main. Go to here. Wait until I is, what's base array? So wait until it's 2. Okay, now we can put a breakpoint down in there. Okay. And then at the main level, buff has got a bunch of junk. Okay. Okay, got it. So after reversing, wait, what? Hold on. I'm so confused. No, it put the one in. Oh no, wait a minute. Buff has been advanced. Shoot. It did it. Okay. It doesn't do that. Buff is pointing to just there, right? So it's just going to leave the one where it is. That's the problem. This is like, yeah, why would you reverse the string? I see. Okay, because the requirement that everything be recursive, you had to do this stuff to rotate. Okay, I got it. So the next step is going to put the 2 right there, right? But then it's going to reverse those two. So we get 1, 2. And then it's going to put a 3 there. And so then it will reverse it to 2, 1, 3. And it continues, right? Let's make it just 3 digits to be to simplify things. Weird how it indents that. Okay. Let's just REPL run it. 1, 2, 3. We get 3, 2, 1, right? Did I do that right? 1 and then reverse the 1, and then 2 and reverse that, and then a 3 and reverse that. Okay, I commented out the reverse, right? Start again. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 2, 1, 3, right? So if now we reversed -2, what does that do? We still do nothing there. This one you put the 2, you reverse them, and then you reverse these 2, and then you reverse that one. So nothing. And then this one you reverse those, and then you reverse these 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Why do this? Well, if there was a 4, it would go up here, and then you'd have to... Right, so if I introduced a 4 there... Kind of fighting with my editor to do this. That. And my being perfectionistic is forcing me to do this. All right, so the next step would be you put a 4 there, and then you reverse it. So you get 3, 2, 1, 4. So every time you're adding a digit up here, you're putting it at the end where you want when you reverse. But then the ones you've already reversed correctly are now you have to unreverse them again. So I understand what they're doing. Okay, my explanation of why you have to do this is that since you're reversing while you're building it, as you're building it, you're always putting the last digit up front. So you reverse it. So right here, you're always putting the last digit up front. But the previous digits you already have in the correct order. So when you reverse to put it at the end, you've unreversed the ones you've already done. So you have to reverse them again to put them back. So yeah, what everyone's been saying, I think Atomic Nibble and iGrok, it would be simpler instead of reversing to just do a rotate. So go directly from 4, 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess the trick would be to how to do a rotate recursively. That's probably what Nui is showing here. I think you're just illustrating the same thing. Yeah, you're illustrating the same thing. How would you do a rotate recursively? I don't know. It might not be any more clear than this. It's having to, because the reverse is inside the recursion of this, it has to reverse to get the current unit of work in the correct place. But then because it's undone what all the inner levels of recursion have done, it has to do it again to to correct it. So I mean, I guess the point of this lesson is to drum into you how recursive functions work, and it gets really crazy when you, while you're doing recursion, to do yet another recursive thing. But yeah, that really warped my brain a lot. But thank you for that, Justin. I really enjoyed that excursion. That she came up with that. I mean, if you had realized that every time you're placing a digit here and you're reversing it, you have the digits you've already done are there, but they're in reverse order. Then you would figure you'd have to reverse just that part. I think she could have figured it out if she drew it the way I did. And you figure, oh wait, I got the 4 in the correct place, but now these are backwards, so let me just reverse those. And because it would continue. Every new digit would be on the left of these ones that are already correct. Reverse them, and then you end up with the ones you already did in reverse order, so you just reverse them again. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she drew it the way I was drawing it and figured it out, that she had to add that extra, this extra line here to get it to work. But yeah, like people were saying, more efficiently, instead of calling reverse string twice, instead of reversing, it would be to do a left rotate. Would get it correct, because you'd put the 1 there, and then you put the 2 and you'd rotate these in place, and then you put the 3 there, and then you'd rotate these in place to get that, and then a 4 and rotate. So you'd basically, if you could get the rotate correctly, which I don't know how to do recursively, but if you could, you would do a single rotate string instead of 2 reverse strings. Be able to solve it differently. He probably did a left rotate in place or something. I mean, there's lots of ways you could do it. You, instead of placing the 1 on the right, you could place the 1 where it should go. You change the order of what you're doing here. You would do the store first, and then you do the recursive call. And then at the very end, well, okay. The other ways I can think of break your professor's rule of everything needs to be recursive. So I don't know. Okay, that was interesting. I think I want to call it here for my analysis, though. But that was, thank you for that. That was fun. It certainly warped my brain. I feel like I'm back in school again. So let me clean this up. I hope it's okay with you, Justin, if I move on. Yeah, that was fun. Let's go back to what I was doing before. Thank goodness for undo stacks. I was refactoring item handling code. Right. Did I miss any chat during that various time? Yeah, yeah. I was just trying to understand the code, yes. And hello. You want to do a reverse 05 n is inclusive? Maybe. Hello. Yeah. A bunch of other people came in while I was looking at that, right? Slickfur is here somewhere in my chat history. Where? Hey there, Slickfur. I see you came in near the beginning of looking at this stuff. And Playing with Scissors was coming in too. Even earlier than that. That was a while ago. Okay. You came in with a clip from Adam's stream. Let me go watch that really quick. And then, oh, A squared, hi. I have a stream helper that tells me who was chatting while I was concentrating on that problem. A cloud came in and said something. Where was that? At 10:48. I see. You came in while I was waving to other people. And then Gnarly Quack. Just came in. Hi. Recursion is useful when it's useful, otherwise it's just usually confusing. Yeah, but this that we were looking at, this is sort of an extreme case. When you're being taught by a professor stuff, professors will often go to extreme cases just to challenge your brain, and then that helps some people really. It makes it click for them that, oh, recursion makes you think of the problem differently, like almost inside out, right, or backwards. And but then when you go to the real world, you'll use recursion, but you won't use it to this extreme, right? Um, I think that's true for a lot of teaching. You teach the extremes, and in the real world, you rarely ever see the extremes, but knowing the extremes kind of helps you get a good perspective on it. Came in halfway, you see, missed how we got into this. It was Jess and TV presented some code that I just had on the screen there that worked for taking a number that you type in and showing it in different bases, like base 2, base 8, base 10, base 16. But the requirement of the professor was you have to implement it using only recursive functions. So even things like calculating the length of a string had to be done recursively. Converting the integer to a string to an integer had to be done recursively. So that introduced interesting problems because the recursion sometimes causes you to do things in reverse, and so you need to then reverse it. But if you're reversing while you're constructing it, then you end up reversing pieces you've already done, and so you have to reverse twice, and that was the key to understanding that problem. Yeah. Sorry you missed it. And anyone who came in halfway and then missed it, what was that link again? I guess I can go all the way back up. Find that link. Here's the bpaste link. If anyone is curious what I've been trying to wrap my brain around for the past hour? Has it been an hour? How long was I doing that? How long was I working on that? 50 minutes. Not an hour. 45 minutes, yeah. So is that the correct bpaste link? Yeah, so there it is. That's what I was having fun with for the last 45 minutes, courtesy of Justin TV. I'm going to give you a lot of points for that, because that was fun. I'm going to give you 10 points. You have 10 points in my stream. What can you use those points for? Not much yet, but in the future, you will be able to use those points in my game. And let me show you where it's accounted now, if I can find the right window here. Did I close it? No, here it is. So go into the actual production server. So, oh, is my game having trouble now? Or is it, no, it's just my Chrome window. There we go. So here are the point leaders. So Toulouse has 190 points. You can't use the points yet, but hopefully when I actually have a game with content in there, you'll be able to log into the game and redeem those points for exclusive in-game rewards. Right now, they're only worth bragging about. Now you have 10 points for that lovely excursion into recursion land. Get many more points because this professor's not going anywhere. Did you draw that inventory markup? Yes, I did. I drew that on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, the goal was... Did I close the window? I did. Shoot, why did I... Oh, I know why I did that. Let's get it back. Incognito window. Log in. Remember me. My name is Raimu. It's Tiger Brush. It's the password today. Yeah, I drew that on Wednesday based off of this image. So I did a little bit of Raimu art on Wednesday. Based on a reference image, I drew that. And some people in chat actually suggested that I just take that image and trace over it. And I asked my daughter, who's a young artist, she said that she's glad that I didn't trace that to make that, but just did it by eye, because tracing is somewhat frowned upon in the artistic community. It's kind of like copying, breaking copyright and all that stuff. So she said bravo for doing that. She didn't actually laugh at me too much. She said actually I did a decent job for what she's used to me being able to do. So yeah, that represents our character, and the arrow it's sort of trying to make it obvious that if you put something into this slot, it's going to be in his right hand, right? And you can't put it here because that's his neck. You can't put it here because that's his head. So if I found some kind of like boots in the game, I could put it here because that would put it on his feet. The only thing that might not be a little too obvious is these two. This one is offhand, but this is rings. So there's some room for improvement. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to add another section of inventory And this will be if your character is interacting with a treasure chest or a bag in your inventory, and you're interacting with that, it'll show the slots that go into the container, and then we can move things in and out of treasure chests and bags and that kind of thing. That's what I'm working on today. There will be 2 streams today because I had to take a break to go drive someone home from school. And then when I get back, I'll start up again. Oh, I was going to watch that that clip from Playing with Scissors, right? Let's watch it. Can I do this without... Can I do this in a way that you can hear it? I can do it if I put it into Chrome. Let's do that.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm probably gonna meet Raimu in person in a couple weeks, and I was debating on just for a joke, like every time Raimu does something, that I would keep a tally of it. So like times Raimu laughs at one of my jokes,
That's
and I
one.
just start keeping tally bars, and like times Raimu takes a bite while talking or something, just to mess with it. What's the occasion? I'm just gonna be close to where he lives for no particular reason with a pair of
Okay, that's funny.
binoculars, and just we'll probably meet up. Go.
All right, that was cool. Now I'm going to be constantly watching what he's counting. I will have to count the number of times he tries to count something. I've got to one-up him, right? Do you think Anna's going to have a notes file to type in while talking to you? He's pretty good at keeping stuff in memory, so, I mean... Yeah, now I'm going to be, like, thinking, what is he counting? Make a silhouette of the ring into the ring box? Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Jappy Jappy. That came in... oh, the cat's on the move. Hello, kitty. Hi. Let me give you a point for that, because that came up the other day too, and I want to do that. That's sort of on the to-do list, and I don't want to forget, so I'll really put your note there. So, drawing like in gray, like a picture of a ring here, a picture of a shield maybe. This would be a belt, helmet, necklace, suit of armor, a weapon, and a boot. Will probably really help there. Yeah, so let's... I'm looking at the cat. Is the cat gonna move? Or is he just gonna lay down again? I don't know. Did a trace with 5 digits? Oh, you did a trace with 5 digits. That's cool. Yeah, that'll help people understand that, right? How that recursion works. This is the part I didn't get. Because I'm not used to doing that such absurd levels of recursion. I just kind of assume that reverse string only was here and not at these inner levels. Yep. Bye, kitty. Yeah, so this second reverse string is because each of these reverse strings is undoing the previous one for all but the last digit. That was the trick. Okay, I've got to turn off the beast cam for a while. That means anyone who redeems the pet the cat has to stay on hold, unfortunately, because the cat is probably going to go outside or something. Definitely off camera now. All right, refactoring this. I was working on this, and I finished it, and I was checking it in, right? That's where I was. Oh, I was writing the comment for descend tree. That's what I was doing. Descend tree. And I know why we got into recursion, because I used recursion here. Isn't that cool? Return a path to JSON object containing the key at the given path. The path consists of JSON object keys separated by dots. Root. This is the top level JSON object in which to find a descendant node. And then this is both an input and an output. On entry, this is the sequence of keys to use to descend the tree. On exit, this is this. How come I can't type? This is the key of the innermost value to found. It'll be the last one. I guess this is the last key. This is the last key in the sequence. All right, and then what will we return? the JSON object, the descendant JSON object containing the last key in the given sequence is returned. Oh, really, it's a reference to. There. I used recursion because then I didn't have to do pointer weirdness. I am returning a reference, right? And if I did this without recursion, I'd have to have a loop, and that would mean that I can't use a reference. I'd have to use a pointer that keeps descending. So this, I'm basically leveraging the stack. The stack is holding these references, and we just use the last one. You're back? Nice. Yeah, recursion is useful when it's useful. I use recursion here because it helped me avoid using pointers. So in C++, if I can get away with a solution that, if I can make a solution that doesn't use any pointers, I'm always happier. Even at the cost of doing a little bit of recursion. All right. So that's descend tree. So this is really just adding support for in delta modifications to have a path. Okay, add, really it's executor. Support deep deltas. I think that's enough to understand what I'm doing if I read this comment again. And I am not checking that in yet. That's the deep delta test. Okay, good. Commit that. And then going back to ECS, right? I think my keyboard's starting to fail. And I need to, hold on, I need to keep track of time too. I have 1 more hour and then I have to go, and then I'll come back at 2 p.m. my time. Yep, all right. Version outputs nothing for value equals 0. Yeah, there will always be a, that, like this test implies, there will always be some key. There will always be at least one key, right? This is an invalid test case, right? Because this is no keys at all. So that's not even legal. It doesn't even make sense. It's basically, it's saying what keys to change, and you say, oh, no key at all. Then why did you say it? Well, this isn't directly interfacing with the user. This is a function that's going to be used by other functions, so they won't even inject this modify component thing unless they have 1 or more keys to put into this delta structure. So I don't have to worry about like someone like typing in an empty string, because the user input doesn't directly go into this. This is like a very deep function. For completeness, like if I was doing this for a professor, the professor might say, oh, well, you didn't handle the case in descend tree where this root is empty, right? Or did I? Well, essentially, it just returns what you gave it if it's empty. And then the path will be empty. So then where I use it will end up having an empty path. And so this delta entry will be empty. So what that will do what that would end up doing is in the next state we'd have an empty string with something in it, like 8, right? You know, I'm okay with that. It doesn't mean anything in my game state to have something with an empty key. And if it's there, then it's probably just an indication that there's a bug somewhere else. Oh yeah? So, I'm okay with the consequence of the empty key just putting it at the top level empty key, actually. So then it just wouldn't recur. So it would be, if an empty string key would be just like a non-empty string key that doesn't have any second level in it. Oh, I see, Justin. You're talking about what Nui was saying. Got it. Yeah. I thought about that when I was that's one of the first things I noticed when I saw that code, is that if the input value is 0, it just stores a null and says it's done. It won't actually put the digit 0 in there. 0 is sort of a funny case though, right? Because like if you have the number 1, it's 1, right? If you have 10, it's 10. But if you have 0, what do you put, right? or, 0, 1 is 1, right? So if 0, 1 goes to 1, then what does 0 go to? Empty string? Maybe. That's what your code does, right? 0 ends up being empty string and not printing 0. Which would make sense if you had fractions, like 0.5. Some people will just say that's 0.5, right? But when there is no decimal, then having an empty string might look odd. And so 0, you might want to have a special case. I don't know if your professor would allow you to have a special case or not, but that could be a special case where if that's the only thing, then actually put a 0 there. Maybe you'd want to do that instead of put s. Probably that's what I would do. I would say the put s would be replaced by if the value is exactly 0, put 0 as a string. Otherwise, put s buffer. Something like that. I don't know if that would violate the professor's rules or not. Like, I don't know what your professor expects for special cases like that. Does the special case have to be handled recursively, or can it just be a condition? All right. So this supports these levels. So now I can leverage that. What's the difference here? Oh, this. I can leverage that back out here, right? We can push the inventory of players into that equipment array. Let's do that in migrate game. Migrate game. Actually, why don't we just search for the string, I don't know, head. There should be some entry in, here it is. Right, so this would need to change to put it into an object called equipment. So there should be, here's the test for it. Right, so let's modify this to be, let's give it a real name. Key player equipment. And this was a JSON object with these keys in it. This doesn't exist, so let's include it now. Come on, IntelliSense, you can do it. All right. Player equipment goes here. Equipment. Where was item? Oh, inventories, items. Okay. Do I mind that that's a long string? I don't know. We just make it EQ. EQ. Let's shorten it. Since I have a nice key name for it, I can shorten it now. Oh yeah, floating point numbers? Floating point numbers is just another dimension on the problem where you have to now deal with, is there a decimal point or not? And if there is, then there's a fractional part, and the fractional part has slightly different rules, right? It would be sort of, a lot of things would be mirrored. So the least significant digits are on the same side, but they're, from relatively speaking from the decimal point, they're flipped, right? Yeah, it gets a little weird. Okay. Okay, so that matches this. So I kind of want to do the same thing. I'm kind of taking a shortcut here. I should build it, verify it is broken, fix it, and then verify it's fixed. That goes there. You just print finish and GG, yeah. GG! I'm wondering if I have to stop the stream to go pick up someone from school. When I come back, would it be 309 or would it just be 308 part 2? I guess it would be 309. So I can just say 309's plan is the same as 308. All right, so this test is here and it should work already. And then what would come next? The this part here, right? Yes, this part. fact, we want to have two tests. One where this is actually true, and the other one where it started out. One where it started out with this, and one where we started out with nothing. This one right here. Pass. Okay, so this one. There should be two of these then. So one is migration give players equipment slots, and so that is that should be where inside the player component, const auto equipment is player component realm server key player equipment, and then the equipment will have these things in it. Oh wait, hold on. I want it to be a little bit more elaborate than this, right? They should be arrays. Hold on. Then I need to change the other test I was working on too. These should be arrays with null in them. Like that. And then the corresponding code here is the same thing. Oh, and that, it's JSON array. Like that, actually. Actually, in both places. What am I thinking of? I can't just say array there. That's how I would do it in JavaScript. In C++, I gotta do that. Because that's how my JSON value stuff works. Alright, and then down here. Actually, can't I just use this same expectation? I think I can. That should be expected for, I don't need all this junk. I could just say expect equal that for player component index, oh, I deleted it. Realm server key player equipment. Like that. I don't need this stuff. There we go. Oh, shoot. I had a copy of it. Okay, this is the correct one. Then the new one would be migration move player equipment slots. So this is where they begin with the old version of this. So that would be here, right? This stuff, and we should actually put numbers in some of them just to test it. So this is the old way I was doing it, where it was directly in the player component. Old as in Wednesday. Or it was directly in here, and we'll make some of them not null, like, I don't know, 42 and 17. Oh yeah, Twitch has the height train. I turned it off right immediately when I was told that it was there, because I think it's, I don't know, I think it's kind of scummy myself. Or in the context of my stream, like, I don't need people to donate just simply because everyone else is donating. It just doesn't feel right for me. Other streams, maybe it makes sense, but not mine, I don't think. Okay, so the way I would want this is that should go there and that should go there, right? Oh, and I needs to give this a unique. I did give it a unique name, so we're good. All right. Oh, sometimes I run into that. It's already running. Run again. Build. Okay, we don't need to see that. Okay. Scan for test again, because he lost its mind. I think I was too rushed on Wednesday to get this stuff in. That's why I put it in the wrong place, and now I'm fixing it from what I put it before. So these are going to fail, right? So let's go fix the migration script. The migration script will have entries for these things, right? Actually, this should already work. Why is it not working? Null. Why is it null? Oh, is this in login? Okay, this is the wrong place. Okay, we're gonna move. Oh, I had it in 2 places, didn't I? Yeah, the migration script should do it. So is that here? That's right here. Here it is. So I need to keep that around for a minute. Yes, that needs to be around. Okay, so there should be one thing where if they don't have it, slots at all. So if player component dot has key player. How come it can't help me here? Oh, it doesn't know the context I'm in. What context is it? How come IntelliSense doesn't know what context I'm in this file? It's like lost its mind. Maybe I need to do a reload. Reload. Reload, please. Maybe it'll get its mind back. Now it's got its mind back. Okay, but it's an anonymous namespace. So that means I have to prefix it with realm server. Key player equipment. So if it has an equipment, it's one kind of migration. Actually, it's the opposite. If there's no equipment at all, then we do one of 2 things, right? If they have any of these, we'll just assume it's the Wednesday code, right? So, So we have to make one, right? Auto equipment, this player component. This. Actually, let's do it a different way. Let's do that equals standard move equipment, and we'll just make auto equipment as JSON object. IntelliSense, not intelligence. I agree. This should go out here. If that's not true, then we'll make it true here. It definitely needs to be updated here. I don't need this anymore. I think I know what I want to do. I want to look through this, and if it has if the player component has the equipment slot directly, then we want to move it. We want to move what it has into the equipment slot equals player component equipment slot. Else, we're gonna make a fresh one. So that equals JSON array with a null pointer in it. So if they have the old equipment slot, we're moving it. Otherwise, we're making a new one. After we form all the equipment up, we store it. Okay, so that should work. It's not true here. We will make it true. Make the code true. Test Explorer killing me. Every time I build now, it has to reload. I don't know why. But hey, look, it passed. Will the one before it pass? That's a different one. This one, will this pass? No. What did we get? Oh, it didn't remove the old ones. Okay. It also didn't put them into, it didn't put them into arrays. Okay, that's another problem. And I didn't check to make sure, so there should be an expect false that Do I have an array up here? I don't. Let's just say expect false that player component has each one of these strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Main, hand, head, torso, feet, belt, ring, and neck. Okay, so the other bug was that this has to be a JSON array containing that. There we go. Keep thinking I'm hearing the cat meow, but he shouldn't be meowing because he should be able to get in and out. Maybe I should go check on him, huh? Getting old. Maybe he's getting senile. Oh, right. I forgot to actually remove the keys. So that we have to do here. If it has it, we have to mark. We have to actually remove it. So this, we have to say remove that. There. I wonder if I can do standard move here. I don't think I can because it gives me a reference and I can't move a reference. So I'm not going to bother trying. Cool. So running all the executor tests. So this will make sure all the data is in the correct place, whether it's really old or it's from Wednesday. Okay, and then I need to update the code that sends the player's inventory and also the code that allows you to move it. So that's other places where we find the word head. Okay. Not any of these places. These are all good. What's this right here? Oh, right. This is these should be updated to have array. JSON array containing a single null. I wonder if I'll have more of these. Should probably put this into my clipboard because I bet this comes up other places. Yep, it does. Several other tests do this expectation. Okay, so they are now arrays with slots in them. Okay. That's the migration stuff. That's correct. Okay, so here we definitely need to update this. A couple places. What's this right here? Send inventory. Okay, here we go. So I don't need this anymore because we now have it in a single object, right? I don't need that. So what we would iterate is then the player components. Okay, so kind of like the inventory. So this would be equipment entities. This player component key player equipment. And then we would iterate the keys of this. Get keys. So this is not a slot. Actually, I had an iterator protocol for this, right? I added that, so I can use it. It's just this will be an iterator, so it's just constato. How does this work again? I forget. Let me look at this. Well, thank you for that follow. JSON value iterator. I forgot how my own iterator thing works. Why is that not working? Oh, because probably it's just value iterator. Declaration, please. Okay, so they're all lightweight, so I can just do const auto. Yep, they're iterators. Hey there, rim. Or is it rimproverato? Oh, and I forgot. I didn't say hi to Rally Monkey. I didn't even see Rally Monkey come in. How long ago is that? Hey there, Cthulhu. TGIF. Well, there was Rally Monkey saying hi, and I missed that part. How are you doing, Rally Monkey? And how are you doing, Cthulhu? Doing well, alright. Still not allowed to drink beer, right? Let's see. Right, so that's an iterator now, so let me get the things out of it. Const auto. What are we calling these thingies? This is old, let's delete that. Not that one. Type, which one? A name, I need a name. Equipment type? Equipment slot dot key. So that will be us. Oh, it's an error type. Oh, because that's a function. That will be a string reference. And then equipment slots. So let me give this a better name. Equipment entities entry is that dot value. And then that should be a, right, JSON value. So that's an array. Okay, so we're going to make an array here. So auto equipment entity, equipment items, JSON array. And then at the end of this, we're going to move it in there, right? Equipment slot, this would be equipment type, actually. Is standard move, so we're not doing that, are we? No, we are. It's move the array in there. This one. Cool. Gonna have to leave after getting here, unfortunately, to play. Okay. Good luck. Have a good day. Play my archive as background sound. Well, hello, future Rally Monkey. I hope the future is good. Okay, so this is nested because we have to do this for every slot, right? So for size t, I0, I is less than equipment, slots get size, plus plus I, and then do all this inside of there, right? All right. The entity is the equipment slots I. If it's 0, then why would it be 0? Oh yeah, then we want to put in a null pointer in there. We're adding a null pointer, right? So equipment items, add null pointer, continue. Otherwise, we encode the entity. If it's nullish, that means, yeah, that it's not valid in some way. And so we would equipment player blank equipment type slot D, right? Or that's a ZU versus size T. So that would be comma I, and then the type was equipment type. Equipment type. Yes, okay. And so, yeah, I was replacing it with null, so it's again, it's this line that I actually want. Shouldn't there be an, wait a minute. Where's the actual storage of it? I don't have it, so it would just be otherwise, yeah, there has to be an else. Otherwise, we're going to add the slot, aren't I? And I can move that in. Because we're done with it. Let's not call it slot. Let's call it encoded item. That makes more sense. If the encoded item is nullish, that means it was invalid, and we'll just replace it with null. Otherwise, I don't even need this continue anymore. Otherwise, we move it straight into the equipment items, and then once we're done forming that array, we're moving that into the equipment, overall equipment, under a type key. That looks correct to me. So yeah, we're done with that. Then where else do I need to change? Okay, yeah, the moving items around is a bug. Okay, so this is the most difficult part, right? So I have this temporary adapter to find the kind, the which, and the index. For inventory, what if we do a thing where we can say well, if it's nullish, we can just skip it, right? Trying to make the handling of slots generic, so that I can remove these conditional things. Okay, yeah, let's try to do this. So it would be, let's pretend I don't need to do that at all. Let's just fix this up. That means all the rest of this stuff is, we want to get rid of it. So I'm going to comment it all out, right? So the objective is to make this work with both equipment and inventory slots. What will we need to do? So the from item, we don't need that anymore. Do I want the index? Yeah, so the index is the from, is this one. Turn that into a number. Okay, Rally Monkey, if you future Rally Monkey, if you see this, then the code word is Snapdragon. I'm gonna ask you later what the code word is. If you can't say Snapdragon, then it means you didn't watch the stream. All right. So I need more than just the items, right? Actually, the key will be the kind, right? So really this should go here. And then this should be replaced by the other key. Key, player, equipment. Actually, if later we want to support containers, then, well, maybe I'll worry about that later. Code words will definitely make that difficult. Yeah. Okay, so this we can't rely on anymore, right? We don't need to do this. Actually, don't even know if we need these. Let me just try to get the gist of what we used to do here. Yeah, let's comment all of this out. And I'll try to rebuild that from anew. So what is this doing? It's seeing if the slot is right. Does the slot actually exist? So do we do that for both the from and the to? Yes. Okay, so we need to find them. Got it. Okay, so const auto from container is right now it's player, right? Player component. It's player component index from item slot kind. And then the to container is the to item slot kind. And then we can do these checks, sort of. So it's sort of that. Okay, we need the index, so let's interpret the index. Const auto items. We'll just say, let's call it from item, from index. Let's rename that from index. From index is interpret as a size t. This one. And then the to index is similarly derived. But the from index is greater than from container size, or actually there is no or. The size would be it should be greater than or equal to, right? Because if the size is 0, and the index doesn't matter. If the size is 1, then the index needs to be 0. And that might have been a bug earlier where I had a greater than instead of a greater than or equal to. Anyway, that's the only thing I need to do, right? If that's true, then the slot doesn't exist. And I can do the same thing. I can do both checks at the same time, right? If either one of these is true, either the source or the destination is out of range. Why is this not working here? Oh, these have to be interpreted as strings for that to work. Yeah. Interesting that maybe because it was ambiguous, because we can index this by integer or string. It'd be explicit. Yes, it's a string. Okay, got it. That's why. All right. This is if they're out of range. The other thing I need to check is if they're not compatible. So that would be if the which is if the whiches aren't the same. Or, okay, if the which if you're if the whiches are the same for the two slots, then it's okay. If one of them is not present, then you have to check the item itself. So there are three conditions. No, there are two. There are either the from item slot which and to item slot which are the same. No, there are three. They're either the same, or one of them is missing, or neither is missing and they're different. We can do the one where if there are. Let's do the case where one of them is missing or the other one. Where one or both are missing. Actually, let's do the simpler case for. No. I want to rule out things. This is ruling out when we can't move it. So the next ruling out would be they both have it and they're different. So if from item slot has a which and to item slot has a which and they're not the same. Which is not equal to to item slot which. That means that slots are incompatible with each other. Return that. Let me put little comments here. One or both indices is out of range. The two slots are not compatible with each other. And then the next check would be if only one of them is if only one or that is true. So I can say, can I do XOR? Is there a logical XOR? There isn't, is there? This is actually what I want. So the closest I can get is either one of these not, right? Or the opposite. It's too bad there's no logical XOR. That's exactly what I want. I'm got too many parentheses. This is only one of them has a which. Then we have to look at the item itself. Actually, I should just break it up, right? I'm calculating that many times, so I should just compute these as constants. Const auto from item slot. Really, if it has a which, that means it is a limited type of slot. Limited means it has a which. Which even the right kind of word? What was I using for my key here? Which one is it? Oh wait, we're also going to use it for containers entity? So it should be, if it's an entity, it's a number. A type, okay. Maybe these should be broken up between, there should be 4 criteria then. Yeah, I suppose there should be 4 criteria. Yeah, so which one is it? And then what what is its container? E.g., container's entity. So that means I have another one. So which one? Let's not say which one. Well, actually, if there is a which, that means it's by type, right? I don't like this though. I don't like using that as a limitation for what can go in the slot. Because I'm going to run into problems later where I'm going to want to put the same kinds of items in the main hand and the offhand. Like the offhand should accept a one-handed weapon. And so should the main hand, but the main hand should not... I guess the main hand could have anything the offhand has in it. Right, so the offhand would have a subset of what the main hand can have. So really, items should have like a set of what slots it can go in. Or the slot can have a set of things that can go into it. Right? And okay, I think that's how I want to do it. I want to have the slot as like some kind of a filter that says what kinds of items can go into it. And then we can adjust that later. All right, so that means that it would be a which one. Okay, it's just a which. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect what can go into it. So I don't need any of this, actually. I don't need that. But I would need to get what its limitations are, what its filters are, right? So let me devise a function that gives us a set of item types that can fit there. So that would be, let's just pretend we have written that function. So it would be something like const auto from accepted types. Actually, it doesn't matter. Well, no, it does matter, because if we're swapping, then the from is swapped with the to. So this would be get accepted item types. Get slot accepted item types. And then what are the parameters from that? I think it would be kind and... Actually, let's just give the entire slot. We'll have it figure it out in some kind of sub-function. So we figure out what the accepted types are, and those are both sets, right? And then... actually, that means this doesn't matter either, right? Yeah, that doesn't matter either. So I don't need that. So then it's really just, if there's an item going to be moved into, make sure it's compatible. Okay. So then how do we know what's in the actual slot? Okay, yeah. Right now, the kind is the container, yes. Okay. So, wait a minute. That'll always be an array then, right? Oh, no, we have to... Okay, we have to reference one deeper. I messed this up. That's not the container. I should just make that another subfunction. Get slot container from item slot. Yeah, that'll be easier to read too. Get items, get slot container to item slot, and then we can do a check here. If it's invalid, then just return nothing, right? In fact, it could do this size check, couldn't it? Actually, don't need to do that, right? Yeah, this just gives us a reference to the array. So actually, then I can just say if from container get type is not equal to JSON value type array, then we can't move anything from it. It's not a valid container. Same thing with 2. If it's not an array, then it doesn't work. Okay, then make sure the indices are in range, then get the types. And I think then we have to do an item lookup, don't we? I was doing an item lookup somewhere here. Where was it? Oh, here it was. So this does an item lookup. We need to do that. Maybe that could be another function too. I don't know. All I'm really looking it up for is to get its type, right? Yeah, so why can't I just make that another function call? So const auto from type. Yeah, that'll be get slotted item, get slot item type. And again, we can just delegate it to that function, right? Oh, wait a minute. No, we have the entity. So I can just get it. So const auto from item is from container index from index. And then just say from item. And then the same thing with 2. 2. And if it's not there, to be null. So the type of null is would be empty string or something. So we need to check for that. Okay, that's the last thing. If we have to know whether we're doing a swap or a move. So we're doing a swap if actually there are 3 cases. We're either doing a swap or doing a move, or both slots are empty. So I guess I would just check one after the other. If from item get type is JSON value type null, and then I have to do, well, the other one might be null too. If the other one's null, then we don't need to do a move because they're both slots are empty. Otherwise, then we're moving. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I can simplify this. We can say this just return nothing. Because we always have to move something. We can't move a nothing. So the other one is if the 2 is empty, we're doing a move. Otherwise, we're doing a swap. Okay, there we go. If we're doing a swap, the accepted types have to intersect with each other. No. Hold on, that's not true. Regardless, whatever is in the from has to fit in the 2. And if the 2 is not null, then that has to fit in the from also. Okay, so we would see if the from items type, if from type is in 2 accepted types. So if 2 accepted types find from type is equal to 2 accepted types end, then it won't fit. I should annotate all these returns again, just so it's easier to read. Could not find source container. This is could not find destination container. And this is either index is out of range. This one is not actually moving any item. Grabbed thin air. And this is the item being moved doesn't fit in the destination slot. Sloot? The source item doesn't fit in the destination slot. Okay. Then if it's, we just need to do an additional check. If it's not null then, right? Then I have to do this kind of a check inside of here. If from accepted types find the to type, then the destination item doesn't fit in this source slot. So at this point, we're swapping two items. Oh, yeah, I should keep the move case too. We're moving the source item into an empty slot. Okay. So now we've gotten out of the way that we can do it. What do I actually have to do? Right, I have to form an ECS command and make these changes to it, right? So let me get the command ready. I suppose we can get the command ready at the beginning. No, we can, it's just going to be two places, right? So this is we're moving it into this slot. Oh, what are we modifying though? We don't know what the type. Actually, right now it's always player. So this will have to change when I add containers though. So so it's not always that. This is, we're moving something. So we're actually doing two deltas, right? I guess the first one would be remove the item from the old slot. Actually, can I do them at the same time? I can do them at the same time if they're both the same kind. Actually, I can just do a check for that, right? It has to be both the kind and the which are the same. I can just make it simple right now. First, remove the item that we're moving from, and then place the item in the to slot. And they're in the same action array. Okay, so the remove would be, so what's it's from container, right? I need to make two arrays. Right. Okay, so two arrays. Auto from container delta. Started out as from container. Actually, I guess I can do this outside the if else. Right? And I can actually move this out too. Yeah, I think I see how to do this. So there's a from container. So what's basically what we're changing in both containers. So that means this can move out. Because whatever we decide to do, it's just going to say modify the, this is from type. Correct? From type. From type. Where's from type? Get items slot item. Oh, actually, no, that's not what I want. I want the kind. Yeah, the type is something different. I want the kind. And that would be from container delta. Where is that? This. Okay, and it's just one thing there. And that's one delta. And the next one would be to place in the 2 container delta. So that might end up being a null, and this would be a not where it goes to. Okay, I think this is work. I think this will work. So if we're just moving it, then 2 container delta, and then it's the index, right? So oh wait, it can't just be the kind because there also might be a which. Okay, so I need to build that too. Another function maybe? Wait a minute, why do I have a accepted types and a type? What was this for again? Oh, that's the type of the item actually in there. Got it. Okay, never mind. So, yeah, I guess I'll need something else here. I can fold these together so it looks prettier. Or does it look folded better if I do it this way? Yeah, I think it looks better that way. So I also need to build the string of, this is the from path. Get slot path from the item slot. So I need to build 3 helper functions total, right? Okay, so in addition to the from path, it's the to path. Okay, so the from path is what I want down here, and that's the to path. So the path being handled separately, the delta would be that we have to index the to index equals the from entity. Do I have that? From item. And then the from container delta from index is null pointer. Then if we're swapping and we make sure that they're compatible, then the swap is to say, so if we're always doing that, I can just do that up front there. Then the only difference is what goes into the from slot, and this would be the to container to index. There we go. Hey there, Mr. Muffles. You're ramping back up. I'm your main inspiration. Aw, thank you very much, Mr. Muffles. I have to stop my stream in a few minutes, but I'll be starting back up in a couple hours. I have to have a break because I have to go pick up one of my kids from school. I want to try to get this to work in the next few minutes. I think I'm almost done. The unit test is going to see 2 differences instead of 1, though. The complicated thing is I could fold these together if the from path and the to path are the same. Actually, that could be a special case here. If the paths are the same. Yeah. Family first, that's true. If the paths are the same, then the containers are going to be the same. Yeah, so what if I say if from path equals to path? That's a special case, right? And we'll have only 1 difference. Because we're moving within the same container. Yeah, so if we're moving within the same container, I don't need to do this check because it's always true. So I just need to do, I can just say, yeah, just do this part, right? It doesn't matter. Can I fold that with that somehow? I can, can't I? I can indent that, and then this, actually that'll always be true. So if the paths are the same, this still works, right? I didn't do the swap thing. Let me undo until I get that back. That one. Wait a minute, why is it null? I don't understand my undo stack here. Okay, let me just fix it. So if we're... Oh, I see what I did. We're always moving to the container. Oh, then maybe I do want the other thing here. Yeah. Yeah, my phone is reminding me I have to go. That moves to there. There's a little bit of repetition there, but that's so... Actually, you know what? If we're returning early, we can just always assume we're doing that. And then this could just be a not if a not equal. And then I don't need to do that. And then I can just do this. Early return. Yep. It's about time to stop. Let me just, I don't want to end in the spot where I think this will break, though. So this puts into from container whatever was in the to container. Now, if they're not the same path, I want the from item to go into the to container. And then, actually, then I don't need that line because we've already done it there, right? So it's only if this is not null and the types are different. Actually, if the to item is null, the to type will be null as well. Actually, no. I do want that and. Yes. Okay, I think this is the simplest as I can make it. I'm sorry, Nui. Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to add up to 20 hours, and this is the only slot that works is later this afternoon. So, have a great rest of your day, Nui, if I don't see you. Now, when do I actually physically need to leave? Like, can I squeeze a few more minutes? Okay. I can do another 10 minutes. So update the from container. If they're not the same path, oh, don't I always have to do that? I always have to do that, don't I? And this is just to item, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, what am I doing? I can just always do that. Yeah. These are all just all combined together. If they're not the same path, and the destination has an item in it, and the source can't accept the destination item, then the destination item doesn't fit in the source. Yeah, exactly. And then it's just a matter of if they're the same or if they're the same or not. If the two paths are the same, then we only need one change. Otherwise, we need two changes. Oh, except for, okay, I'll need to do an additional thing here where I'm only going to use one of those deltas. So I'll use the from container delta and say the to index equals the from item. And then I just have one of these actions. From path from container delta. So it's just one action rather than two. Actually, if these are the same, then you know what I can do? I can, I have to do that first, though. So that, and then unindent this, and then say if they're not equal, then ECS actions dot add the second one. Like that. And if it's there, not equal. Same path, we're putting the two deltas together, or at least changing the from container. And if they're not the same, then we have to update the to container. I think that's good. Get rid of all this. I just need to write the helper functions. I wonder how long it'll take to write these. So I need accepted item types, path, and type. Okay, so let me just grab these. We'll make prototypes for them. These can be just global helpers, right? So name space out here. So this would be an standard unordered set of strings. Get accepted types, and it's given JSON value slot. And then the path is going to return a string from a slot. And then the last one is a type, which is also a string. And that's given an item. So the item is a JSON value, isn't it? Because it could be null, or it could be a number. All right, so if it's, we should just check if it's a number. So if, oh, I did this before, didn't I? Let me undo until I get that code back. It was commented out. There it was. It was, we do this right here. So let me grab that. Then redo. Super code, super speed, and then, right. So, yeah, I think we just interpreted it as an integer. So const int item entity is item. If it's 0, then it has no type. It's an empty string. Otherwise, we need to look it up. So this is item component. Oh, we need access to that. Okay, well, we can provide that as another argument. Or actually best to just make this a member function of this. I'll just put it here for now. Place it in a better spot later. So that, let me go see where that's declared. Right here, place it. And this can certainly be const. I know I gotta stretch. I need to get up and drive in a second anyway. We look up the item entity, and then I'm going to return that type, right? Key item type. All right, so that's the type of the item. And then the path depends on if the kind is equipment. Right, basically right now it's just if there's a which or not. If there's a which, then it's kind.which. Otherwise it's just kind. Okay, so if slot.has which, then return 3 strings. Otherwise return slot kind. And that'll do the conversion to string for me. So standard string slot kind plus standard string. Actually, I guess I can just do a dot, right? Plus standard string slot which. Okay, that's that. And then accepted items. That's if. Where do I have that the list here? This list right here. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll have it if it's an empty set, it can accept anything. That makes it easier for me. Oh, wait a minute. Did you just redeem the pet the cat? The cat isn't on the cat tower, so you won't be able to see it, but I'll go do it. Hold on. I'll go pet the cat. Okay, the cat's outside. I'll owe you a cat pet. I'll keep it in the reward queue, Cthulhu. And then someone will have to clip it and we'll send you the clip of your redemption of the cat getting pet. Yeah, you get IOPs. Basically, it's gonna stay in the reward queue until I can find the cat on stream and pet the cat. Can I give the points back? What if I reject it? Doesn't the points don't get redeemed or returned, do they? I don't want to reject it unless we're sure that the points get redeemed. We must get this feature. Oh, it does give the points back? Okay, we'll trust to lose. That means I can give the Epic Unknown's points back because I forgot to say something as Yoda voice for him. So Cthulhu, tell me, do you get your points back when I do that? You should get 5,000 points back. You let me know, Cthulhu. If you get the points back, then we're good. Otherwise, I got to remember that I owe you a cat pet. You got them. Okay, good. Good. So when the cat comes back, probably this afternoon if you're still around, we can try again. Yeah. All right, let me finish this, but then I'll have to pause and then come back in a couple hours. If the slot has a witch, then return slot witch. Right now. And this will be in an unordered set. Else, return empty set. So will this compile or am I going to get compiler errors? This, I think, is IntelliSense confusion. It should know about that. Nope, I got a compiler error somewhere. Get slot containers not found. Oh, I missed that. We need this too. That should also be a member a method. So right here. So this is JSON value reference. Get slot container from a slot. So that's const JSON value slot in this class. Right. It's not a const. Okay, so if slot has which else, and then slot container needed more stuff, right? I should include oh, I had that fourth thing, the entity, right? Yeah, I really need to take a break to take off though. So I'm gonna call it right here, but I'll be back in like probably an hour and a half, and resume this deep task of refactoring. So until then, let's go raid someone so that you won't just get dropped into nothingness, and I'll come back later. So let me go look see who's streaming right now. Actually, Adam's probably still streaming. Maybe we'll raid him. Yeah, okay, we're gonna raid Adam, and I'll be back in like an hour and a half to continue working. Sound good? Hope so. I think you'll enjoy Adam if you haven't seen him before. So I hit start raid, right? And then we're gonna get ready to raid. All right, here we go. So hope you enjoyed this stream. I'll be back like in an hour and a half. So enjoy Adam in the meantime. Okay. Bye.